was all colourbound still. Mika? Yeah, yeah.
How you going, Dominic? Not damn either.
Obviously, that wasn't happening.
There was a thing on the side.
So there's more than one man's transition. How you doing? John?
What's happening?
Yeah.
Ready to rock?
Hey, pants just froze up, man. Is it? Fucking hell.
Aye, just about. Well, disposable maybe at this stage, but more like barbecue.
Last night, I don't know what it's called.
No.
Forget about people actually. There's food upstairs. Owner's set. Just get on deck.
You know the
Froze up. What does it do? Wow.
beers today.
No, just ice creams.
Yeah.
Hey, there's like us. The ice creams is last time. Ice creams.
Same old set and all this. Eh?
Mika, it'll be.
If you want to pay 25 bucks.
might need me at some stage. Or not need me, might need me.
Might find out too much about himself.
Well, it's not necessarily a bad thing, but it wouldn't do this, you know. So, good to know what you like, so it's just, you know, compare yourself sometimes. Just, you know. Alright, what are you working yourself anyway? Ah, right, very good. Very good. Nice night for a walk with the folk park that night, so it was strong. No, you all know I like the heat, so they do.
Do you want the...
When you're at the top, it's always good to be set from the challenges, so it is, isn't it? Just, you know. Well, that's it. That's what it is. It's some work.
Read it.
Well, this is it too. I've seen the whole development, the whole thing.
Let's pull it out.
From
An XLR right at the back of the... right at the back of the... It's a good deal from the...
very, not very often at all. Good decision. This year, what did you say? What did you do, you know?
Set for
No, at onlookers.
Barbecue, what you just, you know? Very good. Hi. I know.
What? I trying to left out. Likely have to go in. that's all the buttons there, like, you know, so at least that's the record you're on and there, that's the brain of the computer. Can I pull this USB pen out? So open the phone line right there. We're up and running. You have the whole thing up and running. Once we get just got the chance of that.
An opportunity ideas what's good for you and what works for you in the various area. And throughout this room here next door, we also have a number of businesses who are displaying what you have to offer. And I would certainly encourage everybody to to mingle around and engage with everybody and see what's available at the various stands. One of the main themes of this evening is really about attracting the best and being the best. And as you all know, that businesses were only as good as the people who work for us. And we will have a couple of workshops later on led by the Southwest College who will hopefully give you a bit of an insight onto how to raise your own profile as a business, as an employer, as an entrepreneur, and how to develop your skills of your own employees. And in a few minutes, we'll also hear from Joanne McCall of JMG Systems, who along with her husband Michael won the Omagh Chamber of Commerce Business Person of the Year award last year. And Joanne will no doubt give us a great insight into how she and Michael have actually developed JMG into one of the most successful businesses here in the Omagh area. So without further ado, I'm going to hand you over here to Celine McCartan, the Deputy Director of Support Services at Southwest College. And again, I'd like to welcome you all here. Hope you find it a very fruitful evening, and please feel free to engage with everybody, including Elaine there from the Chamber, who advise you on any issues that the Chamber is coming up in the future. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Dominic, and good evening, everybody. And on behalf of the Southwest College, welcome to the event. We're delighted to be here this beautiful evening to support the local chamber and specifically providing the workshops later on. So as Dominic has said, I'm based in the Southwest College in Omagh here, where I look after a number of areas ranging from our student support services, which covers careers, additional learning support, pastoral support. I look after our finance in the college, our estates, our own HR, administration, and I suppose the things that all go on behind the scenes. Now, it's always a bit of a challenge to say much or to talk about education, because I think everyone has an interest in education from their families or indeed from their own perspective, their own story, and that influences their opinion, and maybe I'll tell you a bit more about mine in a minute. I suppose, why is the college here tonight? Well, our core role, as you know, is in providing education and training, but increasingly we have a role in supporting economic, social and also community development. And to do that, it's very important to us, and we want to work with business, we want to work with industry and with business groups like the Chamber and yourselves. And I think it's fair to say that the college has undergone a fair bit of change over recent years. And firstly, in our curriculum, we have a much stronger focus on economically relevant courses and probably much less focus on leisure and recreational programmes than we would have had in the past. So whether it's essential skills in numeracy, in literacy or in IT, or right through to engineering, business or IT subjects at all levels, there's been a definite shift at what is actually provided at the local college. And those courses are also offered now at much higher levels. We have developed the foundation degree model, which is offered in a number of sort of emerging subject areas. And it really, I suppose, replaces what would be known as the HND or HNC, the Higher National Diplomas or Certificates. It's aimed, the foundation degrees are aimed specifically at meeting the needs of the local and then the regional economy across Northern Ireland. And in delivering these, we work very closely with the two universities, Queen's and Ulster University, to ensure that the 2 years of the foundation that we provide then has a clear pathway into full degree programmes with them and qualifications at every level. In recent years, there's also been significant investment in further education in our estate and in our environment. And as well as the new college here in Omagh, which I'm sure many of you won't believe will actually be 10 years this year. In terms of quality, we're assessed against the requirement of having industry standard resources. So our equipment is modern and is high specification, and the students very much benefit from working with that. Now, vocational education needs workplace skills, and this is where we work closely with businesses and industry in developing apprenticeship models and work placement opportunities. And it very much is a partnership. We rely on local businesses to provide those opportunities, and indeed we hope that then we're supplying a pipeline of young people coming through with the skills that you need. The most significant recent development in this area is the higher level apprenticeship model, which the Department for Employment and Learning is currently running a series of pilots to assess how these can be delivered so that you can actually achieve higher level qualifications, including up to degree programmes, but through an apprenticeship model rather than the traditional university model. So these are working together in a range of sectors, and they've been looked at in IT, in engineering, and indeed through to accountancy and business services. And I suppose this is where I come back to my own story, in that, well, I suppose a bit over 25 years ago, I started working in an accountancy firm, which was then at that time called Coopers and Lybrand. I was 16 and had a 6-year training contract, which saw me qualified then as a chartered accountant at 21. And all my study has been done on a part-time basis, and when I've been at the same time working and building up skills and experience and knowledge, which has helped me along the way. So I suppose it is somewhat ironic to me that now, like so many things, you know, it's going in a cycle, and the apprenticeship model, which is being presented as something new now, is something that I'm quite familiar with. I do believe that it's an excellent way to develop employability skills and a qualification at the same time, and I'm very pleased that our college is very much involved in that. So back to the training, and tonight we're offering you 2 workshops, and I want to acknowledge my colleagues and staff from the college who are in the audience there as well, who'll be delivering the workshops. The first is focused around staff development and the importance of effective communications in the workplace. And hopefully it will help you to understand what type of communicator that you are as a business owner or as a business person, and how good communications can work in developing employees. And as we all know, so much of business communications is now online. So to compete and grow and to be successful, businesses need to develop their online marketing presence. So we're providing you with an overview of what's involved in a digital marketing strategy. And as Dominic's already mentioned, and I think you get brownie points for mentioning, hashtag Omagh BizCamp is the hashtag for tonight, and if you could use it to raise awareness of the event, we'd be very pleased. So while I know that you will be interested in the workshops, you're also probably more interested to hear from our keynote speaker tonight, Joanne McCall. Joanne's joint owner and director of JMG Systems, who've been one of the most notable Omagh business success stories of recent times. JMG develop a range of electrical control systems, and their products are distributed throughout the world. The company now employs over 100 staff across a number of different disciplines, and they have very much a philosophy of continuous improvement and innovation. Joanne, I'm delighted to say, is a former student of what was then Omagh College, where she studied business studies, and then that has continued that on into university, and now has worked for over 20 years in the business. Together with her husband Michael, Joanne was winner of the 2014 Omagh Business Person of the Year award, and we're very delighted to welcome her here this evening.
Just move this a wee bit. I'm not as tall as usually. Okay, thank you. Cheers. Yeah, sure. Yeah. Good evening, everybody. Just to correct you, I don't own JMG Systems. I wish I did, but I don't. I'm the managing director, and I have been since February of this year. So it's all kind of quite new to me. And I have been involved in the business most of my life, but I've only really got paid for it for the last 20 years. So tonight I've been asked to just give you a view of how life is for JMG Systems and the journey so far, who we are, what we do, and where we've come from. I think there's a song about that. Anyway, we're a family business, and our core activity is designing and providing control solutions. The easiest way for us to explain this really is if you think about your car and the dashboard on your car. Monitors your lights and your oil level, your water level, speed, etc. We provide the same thing for OEMs who manufacture equipment like this. This is a crushing or a screening a piece of equipment from Terex. It just happens to be one that we put in. This is some of the range of the products that we manufacture here in Omagh. Down at the bottom here, this is a control panel. It's sort of the brains of the system, and that controls the functions on this piece of equipment. Our products, where do they get used? You'll find them in airports, in councils on recycling equipment, in farms and agricultural equipment, at the docks, on ship loaders. So our products are pretty much adaptable to anything that really has an engine and it's mobile. We're a local employer, but we have a global customer base. So our products are exported worldwide. Our products go into extreme environments, therefore our primary focus is to ensure that they're fit for purpose. They'll go to places where dust is a serious problem in the desert, into quarries, into places where there's extreme heat, in Siberia where there's extreme cold, and then into airports where there's extreme security. JMG is successful because of its people. Our philosophy at JMG is recruit for attitude and train for skill. I find if we don't have the right attitude coming into the organisation, it doesn't matter how well qualified or skilled that individual is, they won't fit in with the values of the organisation. We try to ensure that at recruitment stage we get the people who can relate and respond to our organisational values. This lady here had the right attitude. This is my grandmother, and pictured with her is her husband and kids. She was able to buy some land just after she got married, and her vision was clear and simple: make the land work for you. And she did this by being self-sufficient. She grew crops and kept livestock. And my grandmother's determination and resilience influenced my father, and she passed this mindset of having the right attitude on to my dad. As a result, my dad built his business on this land, and now my generation is growing and developing the business. JMG's head office stands on the land that my grandmother bought. And JMG began as McGoldrick Brothers in 1976. My father started the business along with his brother as an auto electrical service business. Their auto electrical work provided an invaluable knowledge base for them to enter into the control systems market, but that was not intentional. Business was good, and their reputation as auto electricians was growing. It was a meeting with John Finlay, the owner of Finlay Hydroscreen, now Terex Finlay, that marked the turning point. Screening equipment at the time was operated by levers and pulleys that involved a lot of manual intervention. So John Finlay wanted something that would do this electronically, which would enhance the safety and technically advance the equipment. So he approached my dad to see if he could design something for him. This would mark a change in the direction for the business. However, coming from a service background, they had no experience in manufacturing. As you can see from the picture on the right, they weren't the most organised individuals. The 80s and 90s saw considerable growth in the manufacturing division of the business. And while the growth was positive, the organisation was struggling under the pressure, and cracks were appearing in relation to the structures and responsibilities. My father nor my uncle had any interest in managing people. They were engineers. Their focus was on the product. I joined in 1998, that's when I started to get paid, and started looking at the organisation structure. And along with the team, started to implement processes and systems that were needed to aid the growth. Unfortunately, the following year, my Uncle Pat died suddenly at 51 from a massive heart attack. And this was a big blow for us all, both emotionally and commercially. In 2001, we incorporated as JMG Systems and made the hard decision to stop the auto electrical service inside. Since my uncle's death, there was no focus on this area, and because of this, the work was dwindling. The manufacturing activity was taking up all our resources and much needed space. So we built an extension onto the garage, but we soon ran out of space and took over the garage building as well. Between 2000 and 2008, we saw tremendous growth, but with that growth came challenges. And coming from a service background, we were new to manufacturing practices, and it challenged us. A lot of the practices that we were doing were inefficient. So during these years, we got invaluable help from Invest NA, which enabled us to get clarity on what direction we were heading in, and a much needed focus on our operational processes. We spent a lot of time and effort implementing lean techniques and quality improvement initiatives. And the times were good and we reaped the rewards. Then along came the recession. And like a lot of people, we were just too busy to see it coming. Our sales orders dropped by 75% in September of that year. In 4 weeks, the bottom just fell out of everything. We had to make some hard decisions, which resulted in making 50% of our staff redundant. We kept as many staff on as we could, focusing on keeping the people who had the right attitudes, so that when the tide would turn, these people would support us. We knew we had to be as flexible as possible, and our focus on upskilling and retraining the workforce and achieving ISO 9001 kept us busy. Since 2009, business has been steadily improving. However, the market is still cautious. We have continued to invest in people and process improvement, as we are passionate about creating a culture of continuous improvement. This is our organisational structure as it stands today. However, we're undergoing more changes within the organisation to prepare for further growth. So we continually look at this organisational structure and see where do we need to develop on to support what we want to do in the future. There's 3 phases involved in people development. But before any of this is undertaken, one important consideration must be made. Is the vision and purpose of the company clear? Having clarity on the vision for the company is an integral part of staff development. People cannot develop and the business cannot grow until the goals and the overall vision for the company is communicated throughout the business. So what's the vision? Does everybody in the organisation know it? Do they understand the part they play in it? It's so important that people get clarity. If we struggle with this, then so will our people. In the early days at JMG, we struggled with this, and it impacted the organisation at every level. Once a clear vision is in place, then we can start to make sense of what skills we need our people to develop. It's vital we engage them by communicating the company vision and what part they play in it. We need to do this at every level throughout the business. Behaviours need to change, and it must start with ourselves. The leader in any business sets the example. Back up our vision with core values. What kind of behaviours do we want to see demonstrated in the business? Good teamwork, honesty, integrity, good communication. They need to be specific. It's no good complaining about poor communication in an organisation if the leader is a poor communicator to begin with. Find a way to change this. If it means getting someone else to spread the message, whatever works. When the vision, values and goals are in place, communicated effectively, and leaders are demonstrating all the right behaviours, then business growth happens. As leaders, we can't sit and think we have all the answers and have nothing to learn. The people within our business have a lot of the answers. When we start to engage with our staff, we can find brilliant ideas and creativity if we just take the time. Even the old dogs who've been there since the beginning have good ideas. People need encouragement. They need to hear that you trust them to do the job. Letting go and giving them space will be the only way we can really develop our people. Training them is one thing, but where they really learn is applying the training. We need to play a supportive role, trust and learn to take a step back. And yeah, sometimes mistakes will be made along the way, but as Oscar Wilde said, experience is simply the name we give our mistakes. Challenging our people is vital to their development. Once the training has been given and through encouragement they have built up the confidence, they are ready for the challenges. Letting go of some control can be difficult for many of us, I know, but in the long run it aids their growth and frees up our time to work on the business and not in it. When this point is reached, we've empowered our people. They're taking responsibility, and as leaders we are providing an environment for our people to reach their full potential. We all want to get the best out of our people, and more importantly, we want them to feel a sense of accomplishment. They are reaching their potential, knowing that they have a part to play, adding value by working towards the company vision, feeling responsible and accountable in their role, and working in a supportive and accepting environment. In conclusion, know where you're going. Have a clear direction in your mind so that you can ensure everyone understands it. Work on developing the skills needed for your team and also yourself. Don't forget that we don't know everything as leaders. Engage with your team so that you can give open and honest feedback without sounding critical, and celebrate the successes. I know it sounds like utopia, and at JMG we've still got a lot of work to do, but it's my goal to accomplish this environment for JMG Systems. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Joanne. For those of you that don't know, Joanne just flew in yesterday from Canada. She's up from 3 o'clock this morning. And so thank you very much for making the effort to come in this evening. I was delighted when she phoned this afternoon about 2 o'clock. I said, are you back on Irish soil? She says, yes, I am. And I was going, in case she was delayed or whatever. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2 workshops are going to begin now, upstairs in the business centre. The one on digital marketing and the staff development. The 2 workshops are going to be run again between 8 and 8:30, so everybody's got the opportunity to attend both if they want. Between the 2 workshops, tea and coffee is going to be served down here and give people a chance to network and visit the exhibition again. So thank you very much, Ollies, for coming out, and that's such a lovely evening. I know there's a lot more people meant to come, but obviously they're at home barbecuing. So I really, really do appreciate you all coming this evening. Thank you very much.
Here at the big conference, so we're going to sleep here.
you.